Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Melissa Rose Bourbonnais Infante, but you can call me Mel. I am a cult and trauma survivor, witch, priestess, energy healer, retreat leader, speaker, coach, author, wife, and mother. I was born in the cult that calls themselves the Believers. They follow the teachings of a self-proclaimed prophet named William Marion Branham. He became popular during his great evangelical movement and his campaign in 1946. Many churches worldwide began to adopt his teachings as absolute, including the one that I was born into in 1992, even though he died in 1965. Most of his sermons were recorded and printed into books, and making him, in a way, immortal. The teachings he preached about that were enforced in the church I was raised in were vast. But in summary, we were not allowed to listen to music, watch movies, or TV that were filled with anything from Hollywood or with the label of rock and roll. That included concerts and gatherings, of course, and places that were potentially going to tempt us to stray from the path. In other words, we had to stay home with our family and the Bible. Most of the rules were actually placed on the women. Shocking. And me being a woman, I was not allowed to wear pants or shorts. Only skirts and dresses that covered below the knee, the shoulders, and the collarbones. I also was not allowed to do anything that changed my natural appearance. So cutting my hair, wearing makeup, nail polish, ear piercings, tattoos, you name it. And all of that would have been considered a sin in God's eyes. So I followed these rules and teachings with blind faith until around the age of 14. I thankfully attended public school, so I began to make small choices for myself, like wearing shorts to play sports in gym class, or sharing headphones with my bestie on the bus, and listening to Simple Plan or Fall Out Boy. Then at 16, having my first boyfriend, and deciding that I no longer wanted to attend church camp, or wear skirts. I began to the path of freedom. And that was really hard because I became the black sheep, the disobedient one, the backslider. My family was ashamed of me, and I finally felt a sense of freedom, and I knew I needed more, so it didn't matter. It was a very difficult time of my life. I had suicidal thoughts, and I wondered what was even the point, because I knew nothing outside of this family and this cult. But when I turned 17, I chose to pursue an education in massage therapy, which allowed me to move 3 hours away from my home, and I was finally free. My boyfriend and I were able to finally have sex, which was really huge considering purity culture was also a big part of being in this cult. Controlling women in many ways is about controlling their body in every way, and that is including keeping yourself pure until marriage. I didn't want that. I knew I was in love, and I wanted to experience life, truly experience it in freedom. Little did I know that as I began this journey of self-discovery, the pain and the trauma also wanted to be felt and come out, but I was not ready for that. And for the next 5 to 7 years, I drank and partied heavily alongside working full-time as a massage therapist. I needed to numb just to cope. And my family was still very much in my life, and their constant presence, I realized, was what was actually holding me back from truly being myself and healing. So in 2020, I said goodbye to my family, and I started therapy. And in 2021, I came out as bisexual, something that I had repressed my entire life because of the brainwashing. And I decided that year that I was also ready to become a mother. I didn't want to for years because I did not want a child born into this pain and this trauma and this misery. But I was doing the work. So I finally felt ready. And in 2022, I had my daughter, Luna. And after a very traumatic birth and 2 years of dark postpartum depression, I started to emerge and truly see me, the Mel that had been hidden underneath and behind so many masks and beliefs that were not her own. And in September of 2024, I attended a sacred feminine retreat near Salem, Massachusetts, led by witch priestess Sarah Jenks. And I have never wept as much as I did in 2024, truthfully, because I started shedding the old layers and finally healing. Sitting in a sacred space, connecting to Mother Earth, surrounded by over 100 women also on the same path, was exactly what my soul needed. I knew I was not alone, finally, for the first time in my entire life. And I knew that my story could make an impact and that I had to share it along with my gifts. So when I returned home from that retreat, I decided to retire from massage therapy and go all in on my small business that I had started a year ago, which was just hosting full moon ceremonies and creating a safe space for women to gather. And I decided to tap more into my energy healing gifts of Reiki and magic work because I knew this was my true path. And I am so glad that I made that decision. Over the last 2 years, I have hosted monthly gatherings for retreats and created community for women and queer individuals to heal and expand into their authentic selves. 4 of those women have left abusive partners and found freedom in the last year. And more women are waking up to their full power every single day. If I had not done the work first, I would not have been able to help all of these women and continue to follow my dreams. I am so grateful for past me, for doing the hard work, and the women who support me and each other in the community every single day. And I have so many big dreams and ambitions I will never stop reaching for. I already wrote 1 book, but I plan to write many more. I have this wild dream of becoming a DJ and raving out. Why not? And hosting retreats worldwide and speaking on stages worldwide. Speaking these out into existence right now is what will make them come true. I know that to be true. That is how manifestation works, and that is how magic works. A skill that I am so glad that I have learned. So if you are ready to start your healing journey, or you already have, and you need a safe space to gather with other women and queer individuals, we welcome you to join our community and see what it feels like to truly be held and heard. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about my story, the tools that I use to reach this level of my healing journey, or any other fun, magical, witchy content. If you are interested in my time travel book, Tunnels of Destiny and Shadow, and want to follow me on socials, all the links will be in the description below. And lastly, I hope you remember who you truly are. Thank you.